We reacted to a certain man's entire house tour and loved every episode. However, now that certain Mr. Who's the Boss has done a video called How I Wasted $52,000 in My Dream Smart Home. I think I can guess a couple of things, but let's watch. I just don't. Oh, actually, do I know? I thought I could have guessed some, but then I was actually no. He actually got rid of some of it. I don't know. We'll see. What did he waste money on?
$52,000 of truly terrible decisions. 2 years ago, we built our dream smart home, but what we didn't realize at the time is we were making some of the greatest mistakes of our lives.
Oh.
So here's where we went wrong, but then also how we eventually turned this into a home that's optimized beyond our...
Oh my God, we've literally got a new house tour effectively. This is... if you guys know any YouTubers that do house tours, right? I love watching them.
Wildest
But
dreams.
different house tours, you know? They got to have something a little bit different. As in, like, this house is so different to a normal house.
Starting with the living room. When we first moved in, I spent an entire week trying to find the perfect wireless chargers, specifically designed to look like Pokeballs. These were so rare, I ended up paying $150 to import them from Japan. So,
Wow.
imagine my pain when I realized no one wants to use wireless chargers. Every time someone came over and were playing a game over there,
Oh, for goodness sake.
Yeah, you don't want to leave your phone.
their battery was running out, they didn't want to banish their phone to the other side of the room just to charge it. Leading us to what we've realized is the
I hear
better
it.
solution, power banks. 2 of these new anchor bricks covers the
That's really smart. Having those just ready in the house. That's really smart. Panda, thank you for the 3 months. Because everyone always wants a portable charger.
power needs of every single person on this floor. They charge phones, they charge laptops, they've got this magnetic base to pop them back onto when you're done, so even your parents know how to use them. And then we just keep these tiny USB-C cables plugged into them at all times because they're practically invisible from the front. And then,
Wow.
when you can't even be bothered to grab one, we found that these Belkin wall chargers are an insanely useful product to have strategically dotted around the house.
That's cool as
67 watts
well.
of power, enough for most laptops, USB-C with the
That's cool as well, but it would annoy me having something plugged in like that. You know, like them being tucked away that you can just take and...
cable built in.
That I
And
love.
The cable itself is retractable, so no cable mess either.
Oh, damn it.
But the kitchen mistakes cost us quite a
Okay, here
lot
we go.
more. The first big change was the drinks area. When we moved in, we had this idea that we were going to host parties every other week. We had Ciroc bottles and a Ninja
Yep.
slushy maker to turn those into something even more fun. But the reality is, we only really drink tea and coffee. So the slushy's gone. But in its place, we have figured out how to truly master the warm beverage. So for coffee, my learning was, surprisingly, don't go for a machine from Miele. I got their highest end model
Oh.
from a recommendation, but I hated it. It was so loud, it took so long to do anything, and most of all, the user interface was abysmally basic for a 2026 product. Half the time you couldn't
Damn.
tell what drink you were asking it to make because it just shows such limited information. And it's only when we got fed up and changed it out for a DeLonghi machine that it properly clicked just
I don't know
how
what we have.
many generations behind Miele is in some ways. This thing was the same price, just miles more intuitive to operate, especially if it's a guest using it. And then if you make tea
I don't drink
in a
coffee, no.
pot,
I like tea, but I don't drink tea. Like, if someone offers me a tea and say I'm out at someone's house and they go like, do you want a tea? I'll go, yeah, right. Never make one myself. Coffee I don't like.
like I do, the Loka will fix your problems. It's this incredibly simple but cool piece of engineering where as your tea boils, instead of the foam bubbling over the edge, this makes it fall back on itself. So you can leave it
What?
fairly unattended on high heat and not flood your kitchen with chai. And then for any type of
$2 grand
powder
is
drink,
mad.
This
The thing is, $2 grand is mad, and I will never try and justify it fully. But like, one, he has a lot of money, and two, if 2 people have one every day, you know, it's something you can splash on. You know what I mean? Like you could buy a bag that you use twice. A Red Bull machine for 2K. Yeah, exactly. If I could have a Red Bull machine for $2 grand. Oh, Stacey there for 2 years.
the magic whisk. It means any kind of hot chocolate or matcha, you just throw the milk in, throw the powder in,
Ooh.
and this will get it to the perfect
Velvetizer
80
is the
degrees C
best.
and really frothy.
You don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say
all
it's
froth.
good for anyone.
so freaking good.
The velvetizer bangs.
Oh.
Nice.
And then the way we formatted this all is the appliances for coffee, teas, and powders are on that section. Then above that is all the regular actual coffees, teas, and powders
I love
themselves. And then if you want anything extra, this drawer opens up and that's coffees, teas, and powders. This cabinet is just pure joy to me. Now, there's a bunch of things in this kitchen that I do think we nailed first time. Like the toaster, of course.
The toaster. You know about the toaster. If you understand why I'm so angry about the toaster. I have one, and I haven't set it up because I just cannot be bothered. But I have one downstairs.
It's the one and only.
Like, seriously, look at this slice of...
You know the worst part is, right? The toaster we have is it's a 4 toaster thing. Doesn't even fit the slices of bread. Like we get like tiger bread, put it in, and it leaves the top out, so you have to keep flipping it.
bread.
Oh yeah. You still got it.
He eats a lot
And
of dry
the
bread,
Beast
I've noticed.
Blender is something we got later on, but it's been instantly amazing. It's just seriously fast, like. And then when you're done, you have this instantly ready to go smoothie bottle type thing, and there's no drippage anywhere. Then in here, the Ninja Creamy ice cream machine has earned its place for eternity. This machine was responsible for about 50% of my weight loss transformation. And then every single simple human product we got too. The kitchen roll holder that's also secretly a spray bottle with surface cleaner inside. The touchless soap dispensers, one for dish soap, one for hand wash, and the bin too. All of this stuff in the entire 2 years haven't given us a single problem.
That was like $60.
I've actually bought a bunch of it as gifts for friends. Because nothing says I care about you more than a trash can. But not everything was perfect on first try. Like the plants. We originally bought these very nice, hard to kill indoor plants. Realized that we're not particularly green thumbed when they still died, but then found a brand called Easy Plant, who've basically made this self-watering pot, which means that instead of needing to water the soil like once a week, you actually instead just take that off and water the reservoir roughly once a month. And this makes sure that the plant has what it needs when it needs it. So pretty much every plant in this house is now an Easy Plant. We've added an air purifier.
We have one of those in our bedroom, and I'm very on the fence of whether it does anything or helps or anything.
Because cooking can kick off a bunch of things that you don't necessarily want to be marinating in all day. We got some acoustic panels. They just help to take some of that empty room echo out, but that's also nothing compared to what we've done to some rooms. We originally had some dotty looking LED strips under our island. Those have now been axed in favor of the Philips Hue Omniglow, which are pretty perfectly diffused. But do you know, the most noticeable upgrade for me day to day is the organization inside of each drawer. Actually, I want to have a serious talk about organizers.
I love organization. That gives me so much joy seeing that. Oh, look at his Pokemon cards. That's cool. Purifiers are good for people with lung issues in hot weather. Fair.
There was a point in my life when I thought the idea of something like this was completely pointless. How on earth is buying this whole new thing that actually eats further into your drawer space going to help you stay tidy? I was wrong. Drawer dividers like this, drawer organizers like this, drawer trays like this. This stuff is absolutely essential if you want your rooms to stay clean, because they allow you to create just the right amount of space for each type of product within your drawers, so that anytime you use something from them, you've created a situation where the easiest thing to do is to just put it right back when you're done.
Oh, I love it.
When you
Zach
move into a new place,
13.
it's like this black hole opens up where your tape, your scissors, your blue tack, it all just disappears into. You'll keep buying them.
The thing is, I say I'm into organization, but like you can see the background based on my cards. I'm not organized.
You'll keep losing them unless you
because I don't have something to organize them.
I literally bought a magnetic pair of scissors for this exact reason. There's only one place that you can put this thing back. Plus, with the right organizers, you'll also always know when you're low on things, so you can get the top-ups ready. And even though, yes, organizers can take up space, use them well and they'll actually free you space by just helping you use what you have better. Like a month ago, we realized we were running out of room for shoes. But of course, then we found shoe organizers that let you stack each shoe on top of its...
I'll be honest, this is the first thing he's shown. I think they're a little bit ugly. And I get it's a shoe cupboard. You're not trying to make it look nice. They are a little bit ugly.
Other half. Now we could host a millipede if we wanted to. But now we've had my proper dad chat about drawers, it's time to swallow my pride and talk about our worst fails. Like how we originally spent $4,000 buying an indoor fireplace for our garden. And it's not entirely our fault. There are many companies who will try to sell you bioethanol fireplaces like this for the outdoors. They'll try and convince you that they're just like a normal fireplace, but with less harmful emissions and less plumbing required, which are both technically true. It just means that you're effectively dropping 4K on a tub, which, as promised, was almost no hassle to first set up. Instead, it was a massive hassle every time we wanted to use it. You'd have to manually pour in the bioethanol. It was such a pain to light, and most importantly, the resulting flame, I mean, it was basically just a big candle. Cavemen would be ashamed.
Yeah.
Point being, if you're gonna get a fire pit outdoors, don't go for a bioethanol one. Get a gas fireplace, like the loom pit that we swapped it out for. It now takes about 30 seconds to get a fire going.
That's
that fire
cool.
is like 4 times the size. And then the reason that we went for this one specifically is the extra tricks. It's got an LED strip hidden underneath, a speaker system inside, and even 2 unexpectedly clutch wireless chargers.
That's really sick.
My friends actually use these ones.
Thing is, if it's in front of you, you'd use a wireless one, but you wouldn't use a wireless one that's
But even
in
the
the corner.
$4,000 fire pit blunder is small fry compared to the office. Our original vision was this Japanese Zen garden themed room,
I really like
incorporating
this
as
room.
many earthy elements as possible, like moss, wood, and even this giant water feature
Oh
in
no,
the corner.
don't tell me they
But
got rid of that.
We've ended up changing literally 50% of this thing, partly just because we found ways to make it even better.
They got rid of the
partly
water
because
feature.
we just screwed up. I mean, our entire attitude at the start of this was, we're only going to build our dream house once, so for each thing we're going to get, let's just get the best version of that thing. And while that
No.
mindset did pay off for many things in this house, it was not the best approach for the whiteboard. In the pursuit of whiteboard maxing, we ended up with this Samsung Flip Pro, and after a few months came to the humbling realization that there's nothing we needed from it that a normal whiteboard didn't offer. And then
I hear that. That's the kind of thing that I'd go, oh, you know what? I'm going to get one of those. And it is just such a waste of money.
because of all the tech, the thing's just so heavy and unmaneuverable that we didn't end up using it at all. This incredible piece of hardware, though, we use all the time. There's a whole bunch of small refinements here, like the Delta Hub Carpio has ended up feeling like the final missing ingredient for the perfect mouse setup. It lifts and cups your wrist to eliminate a strain that I didn't even realize was there until I started using it.
Him and his like mouse and keyboards are so that's like his true passion.
I've upgraded the keyboard.
I haven't
to the
changed in
fairly new
years.
2026 Mode Sonnet. This is a very extreme purchase, but the benefit comes because they can customize the look, the sound, and the feel of the keyboard to
No, I'm not still
exactly
using my
what you have in
whiteboard.
your mind.
Should,
Plus,
but I
if you
just
ever have a break
don't.
then this can be my weapon. We changed our underdesk elliptical to one from Decathlon, which to my surprise has ended up more affordable, smoother, and with higher resistance than any other high-end one I've tried.
Wow. So you're telling me the one that I bought that sat over there for many, many months, you just got rid of?
And then here, I'm currently in the process of testing what's either going to end up as one giant gimmick or literally the god of all office chairs, because this thing is motorized. So you grab this remote and you press to control exactly where you want the lumbar support to be. This has seat heating, seat ventilation, which is unbelievably clutch on a day like today where somehow the UK has hit 38 degrees Celsius. And then even 3 different levels of massage. Oh yeah, and a footrest. But as comfortable as this is, wow, it is really, really comfortable.
I feel like you'd
I'm
never
still slightly
use that.
TBC on whether I want to have yet another gadget that I need to charge. But there are 3 overarching permanent changes to this room. Like, for example,
The water feature's gone.
there's no water feature anymore. The thing was,
That was my favourite thing.
I love the vision, but living with a large water feature inside your house, even if you're down for the upfront cost, it's not worth it. For starters, we spent $15,000 getting the thing fully fitted. It needed a lot more parts than we originally expected, like a generator that, once set up, needed to run once per day for 3 hours. And it sounded like this. Then we were told that we needed to maintain the water with 3 different treatment plans. So one set of things that you have to do once a week, one set of things that you have to do once a month, and then a whole different set of things that you have to do once every 3 months.
Nah.
Fail to do any of that, even a few times, which of course we did, the water goes moldy. It started to smell so bad that ultimately we decided the best course of action was to fork out another $1,000 to get the thing taken out and use the space for a 4th desk, which is such a generational L that it has kept me up at least a few nights. And not just because of the generator. The second
That is genuine pain. But at the same time, you got a 4th desk, you hire that person makes you back the money that lost you, you know?
major change is that
That's
every
the aim.
single desk has been upgraded to the Secret Lab Magnus Pro, our sponsor, but not because they're our sponsor. These are still height adjustable like our previous ones,
I
but
had
the magic is
downstairs?
an integrated power supply inside of this leg. This means that with just one cable into the very bottom here, which you can barely see, it gives you power to not just your desk, but every single thing on your desk. There isn't a desk.
We had
that
one of
does
those,
this
I think.
better.
It is really
essentially
good.
gives you mains power, but up here. So all your messy desktop cables, instead of trailing off the end of the desk, can instead just fall down into this tray, stay plugged in, and become
Buggy,
like
I'm not trying to. I'm looking at it as if you don't look at it in a positive way, you're gonna cry.
97%
You know what I mean?
invisible, even as you're moving the desk up and down. And the other thing is, it's just insanely clean, both literally. I mean, the thing's like one giant wipeable coaster, but also aesthetically. Because it's magnetic too, you can manage the 3% of remaining cables by just snapping these organizers down on top of them. But sadly, the cost of all 4 of those, plus the entire water feature fiasco, is still less than the cost of our 3rd modification.
Oh no.
This. We realized after a few months using the original office that it just wasn't quiet enough. We have concrete floors all over the house, which are really bad for echo. And then these are really thin walls, which doesn't really work with the fact that there's a kitchen on the other side, and potentially in a few months, a crying baby too. So we started to play around with acoustic paneling. We tested some of the more plug and play options like this. These things, they don't cut enough noise out. Plus they stick out a lot visually. So eventually we decided that the only way we were going to get the result was to fully commit. We got a company called Resonics to measure out and fit 2 layers of absorption across every spare wall here. It's got to the point now where even if there's tons of action and background noise happening in the kitchen, as you can hear because we're shooting this clip on the phone, then all you need to do is to take like, I want to say 12 steps into the office over here, and as soon as you've done that and shut the door behind you, it is literally like stepping into a library. Ow.
Damn.
So quiet. And I think the panels actually look incredible too. If anything, they're adding to the earthy elements vibe. And we did pretty much the same thing to our entryway. This room was atrocious to film in before. It was just so echoey.
Damn,
Plus
this
also,
must have cost a
any
lot.
conversation you'd have down here, you'd hear at the top of the house. And so this
That's it, I
acoustic
know.
treatment has
That's
been
actually
an
like,
extremely
that's mad.
expensive, but at the very least, conclusive way to fix that. The gym has been mostly perfect. 0 regrets splurging on the Techno Gym machines. They do just feel like a
Panels
cut
probably
above
expensive, but
any
really
other
good,
gym
yeah.
I've gone to since making our own. But it was this boxing wall
We
frame
all
that
knew
had
this
originally.
wasn't.
It was one of those classic products that look great on TikTok that, let's be honest, you're just not going to
We
use
all
as part
knew
of
that
any
wasn't gonna
realistic
stay.
workout. So we replaced it with its bigger brother. This is the Bout Smart Punching Bag. And after learning the hard way from that smart whiteboard, we made sure that before any kind of tech, this was just a great punching bag. Thankfully, it has the tech too. And that was weak. It has all sorts of tech. Like it can track your punch speed and your punch power. It can show you how much you've damaged different
That's
parts of
kinda
a
cool.
bag, like a boss in a video game. There's even these entire workout routines where this dude shows you what to do, and the closer you get to him, the higher you're gonna score. Now, if you haven't already realized at this point,
That's kind of cool. I think that's still a little bit gimmicky. Like, I don't know if he'd keep that forever. It's still decent. How can it track speed? I assume it's just how long the contact's been made for.
I'm a total freak when it comes to optimization. I will literally spend entire weekends looking at tiny little pain points and then figuring out how to iron them out. Like, for example, we realized that when guests come over,
Right, I will,
while they
but
can get
still the
fine
World Cup.
control over things like the AC, blinds, and lights using these Control 4 tablets that we have in the hallways, the ideal is to give them that full control from within the rooms. And that while you can buy Control 4 home remotes specifically for this, they'd actually end up more expensive than just using some of the iPhones that we already had around. So because we're in the Japan room, it's a nice pink iPhone, and on it, you can see we've gone to the extent of actually writing out instructions
That is insane organization. Like, I love the fact that he's done this.
for the 3 different
But
apps they should
holy.
be using to set exactly where they want the blinds to be or the temperature of the room. And this is also a full working remote for the Samsung Frame TV on the wall. So far, our guests love it.
Can I sleep now?
Nothing was a mistake in the cinema room, though.
Oh,
We
this
are
room.
literally in here every evening. The second and third screens that drop down
This
from
room
the
is
ceiling for gaming
the most
felt like they
glorious
might be a
room.
gimmick, but I'm happy to say they are not. The only thing we've really had to improve is the food cabinet. Because it turns out when you're winding down after a long day, it's pretty easy to eat a bag of whatever you've kept right next to you. Or 5. So the snacks
cinema room
and
is a
the
dream,
drinks have
100%.
gotten quite a lot healthier over time. But also we realized, since this has become our default place for relaxation, that it's the perfect place to have access to some wellness gear. Like, we've absolutely fallen in
I wanna
love
get
with
one of
these
them.
TheraFace masks. They make your skin clearer using red and blue light. These scalp massages from Breo give you tingles all across your body in like the best way possible. And then I've also found it really useful to keep a hypervolt massage gun in this section, because turns out when I play football, I keep injuring myself because I'm too good. Just and then when we're done rehabilitating, everything just goes back into its charging
I
place
want to get one of them. I want to get one of them masks.
or base
Oh, there's a scam. I have no idea. Maybe.
of systems. But the single greatest L of our entire house project has to be Studio B, like the sofas. I spent $22,000
I mean, I feel like I did say it. Those sofas look the most uncomfortable things.
buying what I thought was the perfect furniture for this room. It was angular and futuristic and even had LEDs baked inside. So I had this idea that we could theme even the color of our sofas to the video we were filming. Turns out they were the worst things we could have gotten.
Yeah.
That furniture was designed for the outdoors, so it was about as comfy as a plank. The
mean, it
LEDs
looks
were
it.
so dim compared to the room that you couldn't see them. And then because the things were powered, we had like 8 extra cables trailing all over the place. So we couldn't move anything around, which is kind of like the whiteboard all over again. We realized that the entire point of this room is that everything is movable. That's the only way we can actually make different types of sets for different kinds of videos, which is why now...
Would you have a cinema room in the future? We actually do have a cinema room, but there's nothing like... It's exactly what you would expect. Arca, thank you for the 20 gifted. Let's go. W's in the chat right now. No, I want more A. Yo, W's in the chat. W's in the chat.
We've gotten
Damn.
everything we can mounted onto wheels. Yeah, even this giant TV. I originally surrounded the room with these 7-foot mirrors because I thought high gloss would make the studio look more futuristic. And it did. It's just, we didn't factor in that it would make it almost impossible then to film any kind of shot without getting someone's reflection in them. So now we've gone and frosted everything over. And then also, we had blinds like this across this entire window area to stop the light coming in. That was actually a poor solution too, because every time the blinds were down, which they'd have to be for filming, you couldn't actually get in or out of the
Oh my
building
God.
without pulling them all the way back up again. So I'm pretty chuffed with my idea to sub those all out for giant acoustic panels that just stick onto the windows themselves. They do the same thing as blinds, but they block even more light, even more outside noise, and then because they're completely stuck on, when the door opens, they get out your way.
But I
So
guess you
can
could
leave.
never have light.
As you can see, going straight from getting
Although I guess you'd never want natural light in there. You're doing it, I don't know.
our first home to trying to make every single buying decision in a matter of weeks, we made a lot of mistakes. And if you're going to take anything from them, I would say 1, take as much time as you can when you're making the big purchases. 2, don't confuse the best version of something with the right version. And then 3, get lots of drawer organizers. You can't have too many.
I agree.
Buy more drawers if you
I
have.
mean, there is a lot of things, for example, that I would change about this house. So, like, but I think you can only really figure them out for your life based on living in it. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if I was to redo this all, I wouldn't have my office upstairs near Junie's room. Like, this was the best room for me to have an office in, but then now having it upstairs near her room means that sometimes I have to be a little bit quieter and stuff like that. Whereas if it was downstairs further away, I'd be all right. There's like certain things, you know what I mean? Apart from your shoes, what is the worst thing tech-wise you've bought? My shoes are up tech, really. Worst thing tech-wise? Ooh. I mean, can I just say that whole setup? Because I haven't used it. It's harder in rented places. No, I 100% agree. But I'm saying, like, if you buy a house, the only way you're going to understand... Like, if you buy a house, I wouldn't say, I'm going to just do it all up and then move in. I would say, live in it, figure out what you're doing. The gold PS5, you're correct. You're correct. Anyways, great video.